Good morning, LFC. Welcome to Sunday morning worship. Here are your announcements.
Everybody clap like, hey, let's go.
Join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for Bible study. Come get your weekly recharge. Hey, new members, welcome home. Don't forget to join us every second Sunday at 10 a.m. for new members class with Bishop. Have you recently made the best decision of your life to give your life to God? If so, join us every fourth Sunday at 10 a.m. for salvation class as we walk you through the steps of how to walk this Christian walk. Make sure you join us for prayer every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. We meet in person and on the prayer line. Calling all young adults, we'll be having our first event of the year, Saturday, January 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. We'll be having a karaoke night. Come out and have a good time with us. Sunday, January 19th, after 11 a.m. worship service, Bishop would like to meet with all his young adults. There will be food and fun. Come meet with our Bishop as he wants to pour into us for this new year. Take the first step of home ownership and join the NACA workshop Saturday, January 18th at 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. here at Living Faith Cathedral.
Neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of all skill, but time and chance. I need y'all to hear this. But time and chance happened to them all. I want to talk today from the subject risk takers. Risk takers. Take your seat. If there's any other races in here, I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm going to specifically talk to the African American experience for a quick second. I was talking to my kids, and I was talking to somebody else, and I was saying that while desegregation was a good thing on the surface, we keep arguing about why the black dollar doesn't circulate. And I said, well, the black dollar did used to circulate. Matter of fact, we probably may have, at that time, had more wealth then when we were segregated than we may have right now. Simply because we had no choice but to deal with each other. And so we had to come up with our own colleges, HBCUs. We had to come up with our own doctors, our own lawyers. We had to come up with our own everything because we were segregated. So it made the black dollar circulate. So then you had cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma. And you had other cities down south. There were other cities that were flourishing because the black dollar was circulating. You come to my hospital. I come by to your store. You go buy the clothes I make. I go buy the food. I go to our restaurant. It was everyone say circulating. But then we began to go. Matter of fact, my mother will attest to this. In Mississippi, she was, I think, her junior year or senior year when they desegregated, and they transferred you guys to the quote-unquote white high school. My mother says she was frustrated because their school was better than the white school. She said she went over there and the Bunsen burners wasn't working. And one thing about people back then, we had a term that I won't use now because it may be offensive, but we understood it, that you had to be a super ninja. You had to do double what other people did in order to be looked at. You ain't got to say nothing. We see it right now with the president and Obama. If Obama did anything that this president has done, he would not have made the presidency. And so we understand that on our jobs. Matter of fact, most males are either taught by uncles, their grandfathers, a male friend, or if their mother is really nervous, how to drive while being black. We're still taught that today. We're still taught how to interact with officers because of the fear that has been passed down. My grandfather told my father. My father literally sat me down and told me stories of what happened to him, not in the South, but in California. When him being one of the first black engineers going to Howard Hughes, and because he had to drive through Torrance, they stopped him and said, "What are you doing here after 8 o'clock? We are not that far removed from slavery. While people want us to forget where we have come from, my mother was in segregation. Her mother was in Jim Crow. Her grandmother, great-grandmother, was a baby when slavery ended. So at the most, we're 4 to 5 generations away from Abraham Lincoln Emancipation Proclamation. So with all of that being said, with all of the hardship, the chains, the 400 years, one of the reasons why we ought to praise God is because God still made a way for us to look as good as we look right now. Why? Because a time and a chance happens to our story is not that much different than the Jews. That's why it amazes me how the Jews and blacks sometimes get into it with each other. Our stories, I saw an Oriental person come and he talked and he said, I tell my Oriental brothers all the time, the reason why we're able to own all the corner stores and own this and that in America is because of the blood black people paid. So now our time, some of y'all remember the rap song that Ice Cube made that made the Koreans upset when he made the song about the Korean stores and different things, and they came across as racist in the 90s. Y'all younger, y'all may not have been born yet. The thing about this scripture that made me jump was when God gives you an opportunity, that is not time for you to run your resume of how life has been against you. It's your time to jump out and say, God, I've been waiting on this opportunity. Look at your neighbor and tell him, when God pulls you out, don't go back in. One of the things that I never understood about people and parents that are raising their children is that they're trying to make their children go through something they already been through. The reason why I've been through it is so that you don't have to go through it. It's the same as Waze. It's the same as a navigational system. Why do I have to get lost if you already have mapped the way? I went through all the pain and hell so that when you come after me, you can get there quicker than when I did. So we call it standing on each other's shoulders. Amen, somebody. And I never told my sons I wanted them to run from Crips and Bloods. I never told my sons I wanted them to have bullets whizzing by their head. I never told my sons that I wanted them to experience baby mama drama and have abortions and deal with hoping you don't have STDs and being on your own at 18 and a half years old and trying to figure out. I told my sons, you can stay here and figure it out as long as you got a plan, because dad has already laid the price or paid the price for you. And here is the route to success. You ain't got to prove to me you're a man other than handling your business. I'm not going to make my son show me how much of a man he is by seeing if he can stand up to a Crip or a Blood, or seeing if he can stand in the hood. I don't want him in the hood. I don't want him to be arrested and in a cop car. I don't want him dealing with crazy relationships. I told my daughter, I said, baby, I'm going to have this talk with you real soon. My daughter was laughing because she said, Dad, you had that talk with me. I said, and then my niece jumped in, and he had it with me too. I had it with them early because I saw they were pretty girls, and I know how men think. And I was not going to say, oh, you'll learn, you got to bump your head. I hate that saying, you got to bump your head. Why should somebody have to bump their head if you put knots on yours already? It's one thing if they won't listen, but it's another thing when you purposely step back hoping somebody fail. Look at your neighbor one more time and say, I don't want you to fail. Tell them I don't want. Now, I don't know if they really mean that, but just say it in the spirit. Make sure you mean it. Elbow somebody and say, really, I don't want you to fall. I don't want you to fall. And y'all know what we say in this church. Matter of fact, pull on somebody and say, hurry up and get blessed. because I'm next in line. We have to make sure that the circle that we hang around this year is a circle that know where they're going. Because if you hang around this year people who don't know who they are or where they're going, they're going to do nothing but pull you back in the same situation. You got to hang around people that know, hey, I'm going to get mine and I hope you get yours. You got to hang around people that don't care that you don't call them every day, that you ain't hanging out all day every day, that you ain't goofing off every day because they handling their business and you're handling your business. Ask your neighbor, are you ready to be a risk taker on this year? Faith and risk taking goes together. I want to say it again. Faith and risk taking goes together. You don't need faith if you always can figure it out. You don't need faith if you can always figure it out. Why do I need faith? To walk down the stairs. I know the stairs are there. I know my legs work. I don't need faith. When I need faith is when somebody is guiding me when I can't see what's going on. And now I got to have faith that they're not going to let me fall. The problem with us is we don't trust that God is not going to let us fall. But I declare on you this year that everywhere God leads you, you better say, yes, Lord. That's why I sung the song today. If he leads you out of a relationship, yes, Lord. If he leads you out of a new career, yes, Lord. If he leads you out of a neighborhood, yes, Lord. If he leads you out of a situation, just throw your hands up and say, God, I trust you. Tell your neighbor, be a risk taker this year. It's a Greek saying, but fortune favors the bold. Everyone say fortune favors the bold. If you're from the hood, you heard this. Scary man don't win. If you're in finance, you heard this. Scared money don't make money. If you heard this, if you're in stocks, the fear of FOMO. The fear of what? Missing out. The only reason why people miss out is that they were scared to be in it in the first place. I want to let everyone know under the sound of my voice. My wife said it so eloquently. It don't make sense sometimes walking with God. I don't like nobody on this side. I'm going to talk over here. Look at your neighbor and say, it ain't going to make sense sometime. I'll make it make sense to you. I had a job. I had a good paying organ job. I had a great job. I had a house that was being paid for because of my job. I had health insurance. My wife had just got hired by the DMV. We were doing well in Hawthorne. The Lord said, get up and move to Lancaster. I ain't got no job now. I'm staying with my parents. We got a full baby, and then she has the audacity to get pregnant again. And I don't know what to do, how to do, but we were risk takers in order to get to where we are right now. So when God tell you to do something, don't look at your right now. Look at where he say he gonna take you. Grab somebody by the hand and say, I may not look like it right now. Come on, grab somebody, shake their hand and say in their face, say, I may not look like it right now, but I declare I'm your next blessing. Tell them I'm your next miracle. I'm your next breakthrough. God gonna bless me to bless you. Wow. Can I get somebody to give God praise on where God is getting ready to take you? My mama took care of me. My mother watched after me. My mother bathed me. She made sure I had clothes. She made sure I had food to eat. She made sure I got to wherever I needed to go. The reason why my sons was talking about what happened at CSUN, my mother helped me write them speeches that had me to compete with all those people. She would tear it up. No, that ain't good enough. Say it again. And I go and write it. No, that ain't good enough. Tear it and say it again. Now say it with purpose. Now memorize the speech, and she would move it. And I just didn't know that she was preparing me for my destiny today. Now my mother is older. She can't walk like she used to. She don't drive no more. Guess who she called? And I stepped right up. She said, baby, I need some milk. I'm coming to get you, ma. Baby, I need this. I'm coming to get you. Baby, I need to go to the store and get this. I was in Lane Bryant the other day. She was trying to buy some undergarments. I said, oh, Lord, I should have called somebody else. I don't want to be in here with my mama. I said, look, you go help my mama. I'm going to stay out here and just, here's my car. You go, it's my turn to help her. Now, y'all don't hear me. Anybody that's getting help right now, here's the prophetic word. God's getting ready to shift that thing, and you're going to be able to pay back everybody that helped you with interest. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm getting ready to pay everybody back. Because some of them are talking about you. Some of them dragging your name through the mud. Some of them are acting like that they all that. And you just say, that's all right. Just hang on in there. God's getting ready to turn some things around in my life. And here it is. When I bless somebody, they ain't going to even know I did it. I'm just going to do it so God can get the glory. So everyone say, a time and a chance happens to them all. Anybody ever had a lot of money in their life before? Lift your hands. You ever had a lot of money? Anybody ever been broke that got their hands up after that? Anybody ever been just super happy like it's the best day of your life? Anybody ever been through the pain that you almost thought about suicide? We go through ups and downs. Everyone say ups and downs. Me and Pastor, we have never made our marriage like these internet marriages where they're just so perfect. Me and Pastor hurt my heart yesterday. She just hurt my feelings. And y'all gonna laugh over what she hurt my feelings over. Just hurt hurt. I was hurt. I was almost as hurt as if she cheated on me. I was hurt. I asked my wife at 9 o'clock that morning, babe, there's a special, because we getting ready to start our fast. I'm gonna deal with y'all on that in a second. We're getting ready to start our fast. And at midnight, I knew midnight tonight, we're gonna start our 30-day fast, all right? We're going to give God 30 days for 365 days. So I'm ready. And I said, we got to get off the sugar. We got to eat right. I got to lose this weight that you didn't help me gain. And so I said, babe, this is the last time. I want you to go get my 2 favorite donuts from my favorite donut shop. Tyler, I know I shouldn't have did it, but I wanted my buttermilk bars. Whatever. She said, I'm going to get it. I got to run over here. I said, okay. 10 o'clock. I'm going to get it. I got to go somewhere else. I said, okay. 11 o'clock. I'm going to get it. I got to meet Sister Keisha. And what she told me, she forgot what she told me. She said, I'm not going to stay. I'm just going to go open up the church for Sister Keisha. I said, all right, babe. She calls me again. She says, babe, have you ate? I said, babe, my wife bought me a brand new, another griddle, and I made some cheesesteaks. I said, I made some cheesesteaks, but I still want my donuts. She said, okay, I'm going to give me something to eat. I'll be there. What time did I say we started this conversation? 9 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock now. She has the audacity to ask me, is the food ready? I said, yeah, it's ready, yeah. You've been gone for like a day and a half, yes. I'm trying to keep it. She called me and said, babe, they lied. I said, who lied? The donut shop. I said, what are you talking about? They say they close at 5:30, but it's closed right now. Now, I knew that could happen because it's a good little donut shop. And they're like me with barbecue. If they sell out, they close. I got an attitude. Because you had ample time and a chance. And you put me last. Oh, the devil had it running all through my head, Tamia. You put me last. But here's where being married so long helps. Here's where being married so long helps. Here's being married so long helps. She knew how to get me out the attitude. She just kept rubbing on me. Babe, I'm sorry. Babe, what else do you want? I'm going to Krispy Kreme. I don't want no Krispy Kreme. All right. She came and I'm playing the video game and she sat on my lap. And she rubbed my head and I'm trying to. She messing with me. And then she came back up again. How you feel? She's like, babe, can I make some of those sandwiches? How you make them sandwiches, babe? And she just kept talking to me and kept talking to me and kept talking to me. By the end of the night, bro, she wore me down so good, we were laughing at some TikTok thing. I wanted to be mad, but I couldn't stay mad because of the relationship, because I knew deep down she didn't do it on purpose. Time got away from her. Let me help somebody that's struggling. You may not have served God the right way you should have last year, but you've been in worship today, just rubbing on God. God, I know I ain't been right. I know I ain't been holy. I know I ain't been. But here's what's going to make somebody holler. God is a sucker for worship. I can prove it in the Bible. The Bible tells this lady, when she says, can you please heal my daughter? And Jesus is looking up and saying, it ain't time yet. I just told the disciples, don't go to people like you. And then he just says within himself, and then he says it out loud. I don't think he realized he may have said it out loud. Just my opinion. He says, it's not meat for me to give children's bread to dogs. This woman would not leave. She was like First Lady. She was just rubbing on Jesus. She said, yeah, Lord, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the table. Jesus says, oh, shucks. Come here, bring your daughter here. She got to be. Look, let me tell you how to get blessed real quick on this year. Matter of fact, I declare if somebody do this for 10 seconds, you may have a blessing waiting for you by Friday. I dare you right now to give God what you owed him from last year right now for 10 seconds. Give him every praise for every Sunday that you may have missed, that you may have been in something you should have been in, and just say, God, thank you for not killing me when you could have killed me. Thank you for not letting me die in my sin. Thank you for another year. Where you at, John? Thank you for not allowing me to go crazy when I thought I was going crazy, when I was drunk, when I was high, when I was crazy. Come on, take a risk and give God the best. Don't worry about your neighbor. Your neighbor can't heal your body. Let me give you these points and we're getting out of here. Give me 5 minutes. Risk takers are people that make bold, decisive, confident, courageous, creative, innovative decisions and are comfortable with uncertainty. They are comfortable with not knowing all the answers as long as they know God is with them. Look at somebody and say, whatever decision you make sure God is with you. No, y'all said that wrong. Look at somebody and say, whatever decision you make sure, Brianna, God is with you. There's a difference between a good decision and a God decision. A good idea and a God idea. Now, here's where we got to be careful. Everybody talk about crazy faith, crazy faith. Crazy faith still does not mean you ain't got to work hard. Please hear me. I'm believing God to give me a house. God can't give you a house you don't qualify for. That still don't mean you can't get your credit together and save up the money. God blessed me with a job. That still don't mean you don't better yourself and find something that makes you valuable to your company. God gonna give me a husband or a wife. That still don't mean you don't get up and brush your teeth and get the boogers out your eyes and look your best every day because you never know when your husband gonna see you. Ooh, Brianna, I almost used you, but I'm not. I'm doing better this year. Nothing substitutes hard work. I'm going to say this again. Point number 1, nothing substitutes hard work. God told the Israelites, the land is yours. How many of y'all heard of the promised land? Say promised land. He told this, we always dance on that. Oh, it's flowing with milk and honey. Oh, it's got everything that you want. It's got houses that you didn't build. It's got land, fields that you didn't plant. But God didn't take the giants out. He did not lift all the kings out of there. They had to fight for what God gave them. This year, make up in your mind everything that God gonna give you is still gonna be a fight attached to it. The only way to deal with a bully is bust them in the mouth. And whether you win or not, you let that bully know we're gonna do this every day until you learn that I ain't the one to be messed with. This is the year that we tell the devil you did that stuff on last year. But this year, I'm going to pray and fast. This year, I'm going to read my Bible. This year, I'm going to be faithful to God. You ain't going to come up in my house this year. Look at somebody and tell them you ain't coming up in my business this year. Nothing substitute. Show me your faith without works and I'll show you my faith by my works. God showed me this when I only had my family with me in my living room. God showed me this, church, when Lloyd was fussing at me about putting out a third of these chairs when we was in the school. What you putting out all these chairs for? Ain't but 15 people coming. Because here it is. I was fighting for the vision that God gave me. Some of y'all have stopped fighting because the fight has been so hard. But I declare before you today that God told me to tell you, you're about to get your second win. My wife, which wind did you say I was on? My wife came to me the other day, and she saw I was getting tired of trying to push leadership team and trying to push members, and I really was, y'all. I was at my last edge with this church. I was literally praying, God, give me another church. Lord, let me move to Texas. God, I'm still got something in me. Let me go somewhere else. Living faith is dead. They don't want to do nothing there. And everybody looking at me like, you got a good church. No, I don't want to deal with something that's just half moving. See, the problem with y'all is y'all okay with coasting. I ain't never been okay with coasting. I ain't never been okay with a that or do. I ain't never been okay with being slowful. I ain't never been okay with just looking any kind of way. I ain't never been okay with just half doing something. I always wanted to present my best. When I was 450, I presented my best. I'm presenting my best right now at 310. I present my best. Whatever it is that you do, you present your best. And my wife came and laid hands on me and says, God said he gave you already the first win. He gave you a second win when we went through the last time with the church. He said, but I hear the Lord say he's going to give you a third win. And I don't know which win you want. Maybe this is for the young people that's getting their first win because God is telling you to do it. Maybe you've done it already and it didn't figure out the way you wanted it to, so you're on your second win. Or maybe you saw it at its height and this went down a little bit. God said this is the third win that's good. Either way, God is saying today to tell you, get up and try again. All right. Look at somebody say, we got to try again. We got to figure this thing out. Number 2, we all have been given gifts and the tools we need to succeed. Stop blaming other people for your failure. Nobody can hold you back from you being great. I don't care what you say. I'm a living witness. My father, my mother is a witness, told me I would never be a politician. That's why, those of you that was at the banquet, you know what I'm talking about, I was on the wall. I was the school president, and I had beat out all these other little school districts to meet that man. All Rich Beverly Hills, Torrance, all these schools. I was the smart, straight A student nerd. I was a nerd. Had no swag back then. I got a picture up on my Facebook post to prove it. Just go look at it. Just skinny and no swag. But my mother gave me confidence that I was brilliant. Second grade, I scored 1% in the nation. Third grade, they tried to skip me. My mother went left. Fourth grade, I'm reading on the 12th grade level. By fifth and sixth grade, the principal, Mrs. Claris, came to me and said, I want you to start a yearbook, and you're going to be the yearbook committee president. I said, I'll start it. Didn't know how to do it, but we started a yearbook. Started a yearbook. I was captain of the snitches, a.k.a. captain of the safety team. How many of y'all remember safeties used to have them orange belts? Where my old school hood from? And they stop running in the hall. Take it. I told y'all I had no swag back then, Tyler. I had no swag. I was a nerd. I got to 7th grade, Monroe Junior High School, which is the pre-penitentiary to the penitentiary Morningside. And I'm realizing I got to man up some. I'm just telling y'all, nothing can stop. Look at your neighbor and say, nothing can stop you. And I'm trying to get in student council, and my father comes to me and say, God told me you're going to be a preacher. You're not going to be a politician. You're getting out of all this mess. Forgetting the prophecy that was in my mother's belly when she was sitting in the pulpit that the man of God told her that he will be a leader to the world and to my church. Here it is. Stop listening to people who only hear what they want to hear about you. Nah, I'm going to come over here because she stood up. Stop hanging around folks that believe every rumor that comes out on you. Stop hanging with folks that every time, girl, I heard something else about you. Well, my question is, why are they so comfortable talking about me to you? Let me find, look, this is leadership staff. I'm going to say this out loud to everybody. If I find out somebody else is talking crazy that's in leadership in this church, this will be your last time at this church. Because my question to you is, why are you underneath me if you have no confidence in what I'm doing? We're going to kill cancer this year. And so since preach like people, if you find out the first time you find, you know what, you ain't like me for the last 10 years. Look, we ain't got to call each other. We ain't got to text each other. We ain't got, no, I'm going to unfriend you. You ain't got to figure out if you block. I'm finna block you right now. Because this year's the year that I sow, here it is, to me. I want you to high five yourself. Don't high five nobody else and say, we're going to get ourselves together today. I'm too old to be playing games. I'm 52 years old. And y'all ain't got to wait to 52 to start dealing with snakish people in your life. Dion, you ain't got to wait that long. Well, we ain't got to do this. We ain't got to do this, dog. We ain't got to do this. So my father told me, because he only wanted to hear one thing, that I was a preacher. Not that I was also going to be a politician. It took until I got 47 years old for the second part of that prophecy to come to pass. Here's my question to you. I'm sitting up in city council. The mayor is swearing me in as a city councilman. And then I win my election the next year. I'm sitting next with governors and senators, and I meet President Trump on Air Force One. And I'm meeting all these people, and the prophecy come back. And God let me know, I don't care how long it takes, I cannot lie. I'm coming back over here. Grab somebody by the hand and just tell them, look him in the eye and say, God ain't forgot about you. God ain't forgot about what he said. Tell him, just hang on in there. Here it is, because of time and a chance. Now look at somebody and just touch sleepy and just say, it's about to happen, it's about to happen, it's about to. Why does God tell us to do the craziest stuff? I'm going to tell you why. Because it's based off the scripture. It's crazy to us, but it's been in line with God all along. It's crazy to us because we have allowed life to beat us down to a lower expectation. If we stayed where God wanted us to stay, we would say, oh, I expected that. But when God finally tries to get us to our blessed place, we say, oh, that's too much. But it makes sense if you read the Bible. Because the Bible says, get Ephesians 3 and 20 on the screen. Please, get Ephesians 3 and 20 on the screen. Because I don't want to ever think that people know this. Because we're dealing with a lot of new Christians, and I'm excited to show them these scriptures. We got it? We got it? Ephesians 3 and 20? Y'all get it on your phone real quick. Ephesians 3 and 20. Now, unto him that is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we can ask or think. Now, my God, unto him, who is him? God, that is able to do what? And do what? What else? Why is it above all? Because we have lowered our expectation. And when God blows your mind, God is really putting you where you should have stayed all your life. Grab somebody. I know they tired of you. Look, just elbow them and say, get ready for the upgrade in 2025. True, I flew so much for DJ, and one flight I didn't get first class. I had flew so much, and a first class passenger didn't come. And while I'm sitting in my seat in exit row, because that's the next thing I get, I hear somebody say, Mr. Darrell Dorris, Mr. Darrell Dorris. I said, oh God, did they find something in my bag? Did I leave something in there I wasn't supposed to? You know, we get nervous. I said, yes. She says, you have been randomly selected to sit in first class today. I said, okay. But here's where my crazy mind was messed up. I thought because they gave it to me and I didn't pay for it, that I may not get everything that first class get. So when I got to the seat, she was going to everybody. I was just sitting there, and she says, Mr. Dorris, what would you like to drink? I said, oh, I still get it. She said, you're in first class. You get everything that comes with first class. This is the year that everybody that tried to downgrade you, everybody that tried to make you think that you was beneath them, God's getting ready, here it is, to upgrade you in front of everybody. Slap somebody and tell them, get ready for the upgrade. Understand, nothing substitutes hard work. We've all been given gifts and what we need and tools to succeed. Being gifted does not guarantee success, but being gifted does guarantee opposition. Being gifted does not guarantee success, but being gifted does guarantee opposition. Well, wait a minute, Bishop. If I'm gifted and don't guarantee success, why does opposition come? Because you allow the opposition to make you not be successful. You let people make you feel bad about how gifted you are. Don't you dumb me down to nobody this year. Kiki, don't you dumb me down to no. I don't care what that man or woman say. I don't care what boss won't give you the promotion. Maybe you can't get the promotion because God told you years ago to leave that job and apply somewhere else. Maybe you get into it with your landlord because God told you years ago to start working and get yourself a house. Maybe you and your friends keep fighting because a long time ago God showed you that they were snakes. Somebody yell, I know that's right. Number 4, we still have to come to the point after having all the tools, after doing the hard work, after being gifted, we still have to acknowledge the point, here it is, that we need God. In this year, I want y'all to be successful. I want y'all to get your education. I want you to be an entrepreneur or be the manager or supervisor on your job. I want you to live your best life after 50, after 60. I used to say 50 was old, but child, I'm living right now. At 52, I'm living. I'm living my best life. Y'all hear me? I'm living my best life. When I step, I walk like I got theme music in my head. I walk with a bounce. My son Darrell be checking me out like, Dad, you just walk so cool. And I said, man, because I got theme music playing. If nobody else encourage you, encourage yourself. If nobody else tell you you handsome or gorgeous, tell yourself, boy, you know God broke the mold when he made you. You know you the baddest thing in here. I don't care what size you are. Be the baddest 22 you are. Look at your neighbor and say, not by power, nor by might, but by his spirit. Number 5, recognize, and here it is, God-given opportunities. Recognize God-given opportunities. I was trying my best to get out of here by 12:45 today. Can y'all give me 15 minutes? Will y'all come back next Sunday if y'all give me 15 minutes? Who's going to come back next Sunday? Okay, thank you. All right. Don't y'all lie in church. God, Lord, break their car down if they don't come on Sunday by Monday. No, I'm playing. They really are mad at God. Pastor, don't be saying that. It's barely working now. Recognize God-given opportunities. Listen, how many of y'all know, I got to come down here and say this. Fellas, I don't need you. How many of y'all know that the devil will bless you? I know that sounds strange, but how many of y'all know the devil will bless you? I got Bible. See, I can't teach nothing if it ain't Bible. Satan came to Jesus. Jesus just got through fasting. He says, I'll give you the whole world. I'll give you riches. I'll make your name known. Kind of like what we see right now, right? That's why we arguing with hip-hop so much. Because, again, I don't mean to offend no other races in here, but this used to didn't be in the black culture. We were scared to play with the devil in the black culture. That was in heavy metal and hard rock and emo. Now it's in all of entertainment, which makes sense if you know where Satan came from, in heaven. This is his realm. You can't watch a Netflix movie without certain things being inserted in it. So he says, give me this. Jesus says, no. Give me that. Jesus says, no. He says, give me that. Finally, Jesus says, get away from me. Get away from me. Satan flees. Here it is. This is where we miss it. For a season. So if the devil was going to keep messing with Jesus, why do you think he ain't going to mess with you? Satan is a title. His name is Lucifer. Y'all hear me? Satan is his job title. Satan means opposer, accuser of the brother, opposition. Lucifer, son of the morning, morning star. That's his name. Now, don't y'all call y'all daughters Lucifer. That's his name. But his job title is to keep, come here, bro, come here. You hang out in the wood. Come here. I want you strong. Okay? I'll never hurt you. But just try to keep me from getting to him. No, stay where you at. Did I tell you to move? Stay right there. Try to keep, this is Satan's job. Ooh, you strong. This is Satan's job. I'm doing everything I can. And he's supposed, and so if I can't do it on my power, whose power am I going to use? Okay, let's try this again, because y'all said that real weak. Keep me from going. I'm trying to get to my blessing. He's doing his job. Why do you think Satan ain't doing his job? God never told you he wouldn't do his job. So if God is doing his job, and Satan is doing his job, and I'm still not winning, who's failing? I'm going to tell you why. Because here's where we bring it in. The Bible says, these kind, I'm not calling you a demon, come out by much prayer and fasting. So if you do what you're supposed to do, then you'll be able to move him out the way and walk in your blessed place. But if I'm not praying and fasting, come here, gorgeous, can I use you? Come here for a minute. I become this size trying to fight this devil. Turn around, baby, let him see how pretty you are. This you with your little pretty self, wondering why you can't get your blessing. Because prayer and fasting grows you up. So if God is doing if he said, I'll give you exceedingly abundantly, and Satan says, I come to steal, kill, and destroy, then who's not doing their job? And we are quick to blame God. God, you said that this was going to happen, and you said that was going to happen, and all this is coming against me. And you blame God for everything, but never thank him for the blessings. So we got to recognize God opportunities, because Satan will working a ton of overtime and you out of church now is not from God. If now they give you overtime but it's taking your Sundays away, that's not from God. I'm going to tell you another one. If it's taken away from your kids, it's not from God. I don't care what you say. Your kids could care less how many cars you buy them. When they grow up, they're going to let you know that job was before them. Y'all want to know how I didn't lose my children? I never let anything come before them other than God. Nothing. I would be in meetings. Brianna will bust in the door like she do my bedroom right now at 27. And I would say, hold on for a minute. I got to talk to my daughter. I don't care if they're in a full-blown cry. Hold on 1 second. I got to talk to my daughter. Because I've learned I can help people out of their issues and hurts and pains, and they'll still leave me over one thing. But my kid's going to be with me for life. I can give that job my life. And as soon as somebody come in better qualified and highly qualified, they're going to have me train the next person that should have been my position, and now I'm hurt and all messed up and engaged these. Y'all ain't hearing me in here. Recognize, tell your neighbor, we got to recognize God. Come on, say God. Decisions. We got to recognize God opportunities. So everyone just lift your hand and say, Lord, open my eyes. Because I guarantee you when y'all leave this place today, Satan's going to offer you some things that's not from God. It's God, family, church. Everyone say God, family, church. What? That still don't mean that you go on vacation every Sunday. Let me help the parents with this, and I'm done. Everyone say risk takers. Parents, I want you to try really living for God in front of your children. Part of the problem why our children don't want to come to church, I know this is rough, and don't want to serve God is because you speak in tongues on Sunday and cuss them out on Monday. It's hard to tell your daughter whether you think you grown or not to sleep around when you've been sleeping around. It's hard, brothers, to tell your sons to be a man when you ain't been taking care of your business. If you mistreating their mama, they either going to learn to do it that way or they're going to despise you. The Bible even tells brothers that our prayers are hindered if we mistreat our wives. God won't even listen to our prayers. He's going to say, go tell your wife you're sorry. Go apologize to her. Or, pastor, apologize to me for not getting my donuts. Let's take a risk this year on making sure we mirror what we want our children to be. It's never too old to change. Amen. The reason why my son speaks so highly of me because I tried to live in front of them. And when I messed up, because I did mess up, I messed up. I would bring them in and say, this is not how a man of God should be. This is not how a pastor should act. Me and your mom was out of pocket. I already apologized to her. I want to apologize to y'all. Nothing wrong with humbling yourself. Be a risk taker. Be a risk taker and coming to church. Oh, man. I know it's rough to come to church every Sunday. But can I tell you some things you do all the time? You smoke all the time. You fornicated every weekend. You clubbed all weekend. Some of y'all drink every day. I know, I'm not trying to down you. I'm not trying to condemn you. I'm trying to tell you it's amazing that things for our flesh we can do easy. The flesh is always going to fight the spirit. Do y'all hear me? So that's why you can sit in church and get sleepy at 12:53. I know y'all been fighting the spirit of El Shaddai right now. You don't wake up till I say, give the Lord praise. And then you wake up, oh yeah, hallelujah. What just happened? What pastor say? Be a risk taker. Be a risk taker in sowing your time, talent, and treasure. I'm going to give 2 hours to God on Sunday. I'm going to try my best to tithe and see if that really works. Try it for 30 days. Try tithe. John, does it work? Does tithing work? It works. You got 2 Mercedes. It works. I shouldn't put your business out there, my bad. But we was at Popeye's Chicken Racing that day. Remember, we was out there balling, me, you, and your wife. I was like, I feel like I'm in a Mercedes crew. His wife had one, I had one. Pastor pulled up in her BMW. I was like, boy, we some balling Christians around here. I want my church to look just as good as I do. Then Dion come flossing his truck, all leather, everything, chromed out. He basically told me, Bishop, my car does everything your car does. I said, yes, it does. I ain't never seen a truck that flossed. I said, I got to show Darrell this. You can be blessed. Devin House so big, we can have a whole men's department in it.
Yeah. I like that hallway.
True is one of the preachers that built a, we ain't going to talk about George and Courtney. Both of them own their own businesses. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm going to be blessed this year. Now, y'all don't hear me in here. My 27-year-old daughter was walking through guests, had them women running. Old managers. Why? Because corporate was in the house. And she said, Dad, I had to laugh because I was like, why are they acting like this? I said, oh, I guess I am corporate. I'm coming from corporate office, and I had to go show one manager this and show one. I said, girl, look at what God, you could be in there. And I'm not knocking nobody who do this. Just God can do exceedingly abundantly. You're talking to somebody who started at Pizza Hut. I ain't scared of none of y'all. I worked at McDonald's flipping fries, for real, for real. So I know where God can bring you from. Look at your neighbor and say, this time next year. No, that's the Lord. I need y'all to find somebody that want to celebrate because we out of here now. Say, this time next year, because of all the risks that we going to take for God, God's going to blow our mind. And give God a praise for the next 12 months. Grab somebody by the hand. This is the last one. If you're standing, keep standing with me. We're getting ready to get out of here. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, God will give you the strategy to win on this year. Somebody say winning strategies. Come on, say it again. Say winning strategies. God is able to do. George, was you waiting on the second one? Because I'll let you give it now, because we ain't going to take a second one, because God blessed us today. Yeah, I know you. You be trying to pace. All right. You gave both in this one. Okay, good. God is able to do what he said he would do. He's going to fulfill every promise for you. Don't give up on God. I want to stand right here as the pastor of this church. And I want to apologize to every member I ever hurt. Every member I ever joked with and hurt your feelings. If I ever not been there for you. If I ever done something that made you feel some type of way about me, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, but I serve a perfect God. I do endeavor. My sisters stirred something in me. I'm not trying to be fake, and I'm not trying to be a phony. I wouldn't do this job. I'm telling y'all right now, I can get $200,000-$300,000 jobs in politics right now. I know people, but God called me to pastor.